A Fox News host is sounding the alarm, and good for her. Laura Ingraham is panicking, and she's acknowledging Republicans are facing serious destruction in the 2026 midterms. Hilariously, Laura Ingraham had Katie Miller on her show. This is the wife of the deranged, inherently disgusting Stephen Miller. She has a podcast now, Katie Miller does. Why anybody wants commentary from Katie Miller, I don't know. But listen, here's Laura Ingraham saying, we could have a real problem for Republicans coming up here.
Okay, Katie, one thing that we should also see, Mark is right, the midterms right now look ugly unless the Republicans really get serious.
Yeah. History gives us a pretty grim baseline for any party that holds the presidency going into a midterm, especially when it is a change to the party in the White House, and especially when presidential approval is this low. So let me walk you kind of through it. The basic rule with midterms is that the president's party almost always loses ground. Since World War II, dozens of midterms, the typical result is a net loss of 25, 26 House seats and about 4 Senate seats. That's the average, okay? The reason it's considered normal is because midterms for a long time have served as a kind of referendum on the president and their party. So voter turnout is usually lower, excitement is usually lower in midterms. The electorate becomes more likely to punish the missteps of the party that holds the White House over anything else. The size of the collapse, meaning how many seats flip, depends on how popular the president is when voters turn out. For presidents with an approval rating under 50, remember Trump's at 37. For presidents with an approval rating under 50, historically, the party in power loses 37 seats in the House. When presidents enter midterms with approval over 50, they tend to lose only 14 seats in the House. So let me give you some real examples. 2 of the only 3 modern midterms where the president's party gained House seats, the president had really strong approval. In 1998, under Bill Clinton, he had 66% approval. Democrats gained seats. In 2002, under George W. Bush, in the aftermath of 9/11, which had this kind of rallying effect for Americans, Bush had a 63% approval. Republicans gained seats in 2002. But the gains were really small. Democrats only got 5 seats in 98. Republicans only got 6 seats in 2022. So the downside risk is massive. Now we zoom out. In 17 of 19 midterms since World War II, the president's party loses seats in the House. It's structural. Voters show up differently. The president's name isn't on the ballot. And when you see prices going up, instability, policy backfires like on healthcare, the people in charge of the White House are the ones that lose. Now plug into that what we know right now. Historically low approval rating for Donald Trump. Controversial policies that a lot of people don't like, economic pain, growing public frustration. And so Laura Ingraham looks at this and she goes, wait a second, we are sliding towards total destruction in 2026 unless something changes. And she may be right. If Republicans don't dramatically reverse course or figure something out, there are some models that have them losing 50 seats. That sounds high to me, but they could certainly lose 25, 35, or 40. All of that would take away their majority, and that ends Donald Trump's presidential term with regard to anything other than what he can do by executive order. So that's the context behind Laura Ingraham's panic. Now, here's just one bonus clip. In case some of you really do want to hear from Katie Miller, here is Katie Miller saying, Trump has accomplished everything he promised. And Laura Ingraham looks a little bit skeptical here.
I've said this again, and I'll say it one more time, is President Trump has accomplished every single one of our policy platforms from the RNC convention.
He did?
When has it ever happened? That's why Democrats are floundering.
Yeah. And Laura Ingraham is looking at her like, yeah, didn't you just hear me say that Republicans might get brutalized next November? So listen, buyer beware. Be careful of what, don't count your chicken. I don't even know what the right metaphor or aphorism here is, but the confidence that Katie Miller is espousing there seems very much not to comport with the facts. Now, on the bonus show today, we are going to look at a Tennessee special election that is getting very interesting. National parks are now raising fees for foreign tourists. Is this a good idea? And Campbell Soup's executive, an executive from Campbell Soup, says its products are for poor people. What? All of that and more, plus our favorite Thanksgiving dishes on today's bonus show. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. If you are celebrating, if you're in the United States, for our foreign audience, just remember we are up against a holiday here in the United States, so no show tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Check out another one of our videos and make sure to subscribe so YouTube keeps our content in your feed. And if you prefer audio, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or Apple.